A lone figure was making its way through the woods, dressed entirely in dark clothing. His movements were deliberate, cautious. He stopped frequently, surveying the surroundings before proceeding. "21-year-old college senior Rachel Sullivan entered Blackwood Nature Preserve alone. A biology major with a passion for wildlife, she was eager to test out a pair of night vision goggles that her younger brother had recently received as a gift. The preserve, a dense wooded area located just outside her small hometown, was a place she had visited many times before, often with her friends. On this particular night, however, she ventured in alone. She parked in the dimly lit gravel lot near the entrance, a space designated for visitors despite the posted sign warning that the park closed at 10 p.m. Ignoring this, she grabbed the goggles and a small flashlight attached to her keychain before stepping into the darkness. As she moved deeper into the woods, the only light came from the half moon above. She relied on the flashlight to navigate, hesitant to use the night vision goggles until she found a secure place to sit. Occasional rustling in the distance caught her attention, but she dismissed it as the natural activity of nocturnal animals. After walking for approximately 10 minutes, she located a fallen tree that seemed like an ideal vantage point. She positioned herself, adjusted the goggles, and marveled at how they transformed the near-black surroundings into an illuminated green landscape. Small animals scurried through the undergrowth, and an owl observed her from its perch. However, the deer she had hoped to see remained absent. Determined to improve her position, she pressed on and soon spotted a large tree with sturdy branches. Years of climbing experience made it easy for her to hoist herself up and settle comfortably where she planned to wait in silence for the appearance of any wildlife. Rachel remained still, scanning the area through the green glow of the night vision. Then she saw movement. A lone figure was making its way through the woods, dressed entirely in dark clothing. His movements were deliberate, cautious. He stopped frequently, surveying the surroundings before proceeding. Something about his behavior immediately unsettled her. He was not hiking, he was hunting. Moments later, her worst fear was confirmed. As she focused on him through the goggles, she saw the object in his hand, a knife, large and sharp, gripped firmly as if anticipating immediate use. Hunting was strictly prohibited in the preserve, and this man was not carrying a firearm or dressed in hunting gear. His weapon of choice and his calculated movements suggested something far more sinister. Rachel remained frozen in the tree, her breath shallow. It was then that a horrifying realization struck her. This man was following the exact path she had taken into the woods. He was moving with intention, scanning the area as if searching for something, or someone. A memory surfaced. Earlier that night, during her drive to the preserve, a white car had followed closely behind her for several miles. When she turned into the parking area, the vehicle had continued down the road. At the time, she had brushed it off as an impatient driver. Now she wasn't so sure. Had he doubled back after seeing her car parked alone? For over 30 minutes, Rachel remained paralyzed in the tree as the man methodically combed the area. At one point, he stopped directly beneath her. She held her breath, every muscle tensed, as he lingered for what felt like an eternity. If he simply looked up, she knew she would not leave the forest alive. But he didn't. Instead, after another long pause, he muttered something under his breath. Rachel later recalled hearing the words, "Forget it," before turning and making his way back towards the entrance of the preserve. She waited. Minutes passed, then hours. She remained in the tree, drenched in sweat, listening for any sound that indicated he was still nearby. As the first hints of daylight filtered through the canopy, Rachel finally climbed down. Her body ached from remaining still for so long, but fear propelled her forward. Clutching the can of pepper spray attached to her keychain, she made her way as quickly and quietly as possible toward the parking lot. When she arrived, her stomach dropped. Her car had been vandalized, its windshield smashed by a rock, deep scratches running along both sides. The damage was fresh. The man had been there. Rachel wasted no time leaving the preserve. She drove straight home, hands shaking, constantly checking her rearview mirror for any sign of pursuit. Once safely inside her apartment, she contacted the police. Officers arrived shortly after and took a full report. They noted the damage to her vehicle but found no other immediate evidence. No suspects were identified, no arrests were made. Despite the investigation, Rachel never received further updates. Her case became yet another unsolved incident, a chilling reminder of how easily things could have ended differently. Years later, she would reflect on that night with the haunting knowledge that had she not climbed that tree, had she been on the ground when the man passed through, she might not have lived to tell the story. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing and liking the channel. If you know of any eerie stories you'd like exposed, please comment below.